Business Brain, episode 682 for Wednesday, September 10th, National TV Dinner Day 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brain so that each and every single one of us can keep on living those charmed lives just a little bit better each day. Speaking of charmed lives and tools that help us get there, our sponsors for this episode include mintmobile.com/businessbrain. That's where you can go and get their new customer offer of 3 months for just $15 a month, and on their unlimited wireless plan, which is ending in like 12 days or something. So you got to jump on that. Yep, mintmobile.com/businessbrain. And then also shopify.com/businessbrain, where you can sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling like all the pros, like we do. So we'll talk more about those in a few minutes. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And Lafayette, California, I'm Shannon Jean. Both those sponsors are like part of the keychain to the kingdom, so to speak.
The keychain to the kingdom.
Not just the keys, because it's not one is not enough, but you need on your keychain to the kingdom. Shopify, rock your world, the best, unbelievable A/B experimentation for selling on the planet.
Oh yeah.
And Mint Mobile, we've been using them for years. We had their
Aaron North
on our show years ago, and many years ago, and he told us everything about his experience building that brand out from beneath another larger company, and then
that's right.
spinning it off, and then
selling it again,
and selling it again, and then having what's his name, Ryan Reynolds, come on board as a part investor and marketing guy. It's genius. So it's cool. Very great.
It is. It's great.
Yep.
All of this reminds me of something that a friend of mine, a musician friend, actually posted, and he aimed this question towards his musician friends, many of whom, some of whom I should say are full-time musicians.
Okay,
but many of whom it's part of their revenue stack. They don't know that term, but we do here, right? You got multiple.
Gives me goosebumps, Dave.
Yeah, I know, but it's how it works, right? And he asked this question that I know goes way beyond anyone in a it's not limited to people in creative endeavors, although I would say maybe it is, except that the definition of creative endeavor means anybody building a business of doing anything. You are creating, quite literally, right? Yep. And so the question that he asked is, what are you building towards? We've asked the question or suggested that an important thing to do when you're building your business is to define what success means for you. Yeah, but for some reason, this question of what are you building towards seems a little easier to answer than define what success means to you. That seems like an assignment.
It's a little more approachable, right?
It's more approachable, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
And I know that the concept of lifestyle businesses gets a lot of shade elsewhere, not here. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the people that give it shade, they're not wrong, because they'll say you didn't build a business, you gave yourself a job. And it's like, well, if that's what you wanted, then why is that bad? Just because you two different people want two different things. Imagine.
Well, let's build the first lifestyle business, build yourself a job, and then we can learn how to stack them up.
And then you stack them
again and again and create wealth. So most of those people can't step off the treadmill to build their first business, to lifestyle business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like this concept. And when you mentioned that, I thought of, I don't know if it is totally accurate, but simplifying it even a little bit more of, what do you want?
Yes. How will this get you what you want? Yeah, but yes I love that. Yeah. What do you want out of this?
Yeah. What do you want? And, it is, you don't have, I would say that talking about it in reverse is great. And I've always used this concept as story to kind of propel me forward. And this vision, this campfire vision in my head of being able to be sitting around a campfire, telling stories about the things I created, that has been very important to me. And that but I would say you don't have to have it completely dialed in your head.
No.
You should have some kind of, even if it's vague vision of, wow, I want more time. I want to be able to be more flexible. I don't want to rely on whatever it is.
And it can be multiple things, or it can be one thing.
Should be. Yeah.
I mean, it's all fine. And I think part of what my friend John Nolan, who's the one who posted this, part of what he said, and I agree with, is part of the benefit of taking a minute and answering this for yourself is you might realize you already have it. And
that's powerful.
And like, that's a good thing. It can be complacency can be dangerous. So be aware of that. But also, if what you want is something that you've already created and you can keep replicating that, well, you don't need to kill yourself here. Like the point is to enjoy your life.
That's hard. Yes.
It's hard for all of us, but if maybe another way to ask this question is, what do you want to do when you retire? And I know the word retired, like for a lot of us, is like, well, I don't really know what that means. So okay, fine. What do you want to do when you're free, when you have more free time, right? Like so we'll take the word retire out. Well, what do you want to do when you have more free time? And then don't wait until you have more free time. Create the free time, or take the things that are on the list and make a business out of them so that you're doing them and earning revenue. And then that way it fits into that weird definition of retire that we don't really have as entrepreneurs, right? But answer those questions so you know what you want to create, because you might have a business now or a day job now that is cranking along, but it's not, you don't want to be in that all of your life. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I think that...
Figure out what the next thing is.
Yeah. And I love that. The next thing. I think many people, some people, even answering that question, what do you want, can really make them nervous.
Yes.
Because people are afraid to really dream about the life that they want. Either they feel maybe inside like they don't deserve it, or they feel like
you deserve it.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Or and probably maybe more common than that is that if I define it, what if I don't reach it? I'll be a failure, right? And that's another myth that.
No, that's a good question though. I knew we were going to be philosophical, obviously, when I put this topic in, but I didn't. So here we are. What if I don't reach it? Well, I'm going to go back to your story idea. Is you decide the story you want to tell at the end. It doesn't mean that you're going to get to exactly that story. You're just going to start down a path, and the story can evolve.
Of course, it should,
and it's okay if the story isn't as grandiose, right? When you get there, that's fine.
More. Yeah. Well, I also think it ties into the systems over goals thing, where you shouldn't have this big goal that's in 5 years and this and that.
Yes,
and it should be. This is the kind of life I want, or this is the time. This is how I want my time to be managed. So each day I'm developing a system that enables that. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I have more on this and a little different concept about not waiting that I'd love to dive into a little bit more too.
All right. Well, I definitely want to do that, because I know what it is, and I'm eager to. Well, I know what you call it.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what it is, and I want to find out. So we will do that right after we do the next thing that we want to do, which is to talk about our sponsor. Because, hey, I got a question for you. Do you struggle with procrastinating? You know, putting off something that could save you a ton of money? That was me. I first heard about Mint Mobile in like 2018. We even interviewed Aaron North, who was with Mint Mobile at the time, but I didn't actually switch myself until December of 2020. And I kicked myself for waiting because I could have saved thousands more dollars. Since switching, it's been flawless. Same phones, same number, same coverage, just a bill that's so low. I kind of double check it every year when I pay it, but it's like, it's real life. It's how it goes. And right now, new customers can get 3 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data on the nation's largest 5G network. You can bring your phone, you keep your contacts, and finally stop burning cash with big wireless. Quit stalling and start saving when you make the switch. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/businessbrain. That's mintmobile.com/businessbrain. There's an upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. That's how that works. Limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigs on unlimited plans. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Live your charmed life without the big wireless bill. Oh, and hurry, because this deal ends on September 22nd. And make sure you use our link, mintmobile.com/businessbrain, because that way you get the deal and we get the recognition for referring you. And that's good for everybody. And our thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring this episode. And hey, picture this. It's midnight. You're scrolling on your phone. You've added way too many things to your cart, and then it hits you. You left your wallet in the other room. Normally that means an abandoned cart until you see it. That glorious purple Shop Pay button. One tap and suddenly you're still in bed, warm, comfy. And now also the proud owner of a gadget you'll convince yourself was a business expense. That's the magic of our sponsor, Shopify. And here's the thing. Shopify doesn't just make buying easy. It makes selling a dream. Shopify powers 10% of all U.S. e-commerce, from giants like Mattel to creators just getting started. And I use it with my other businesses to sell merch for the podcast because it works flawlessly. With hundreds of ready-to-go templates, you can launch a gorgeous store without touching any code. Use their built-in marketing and email tools to reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. And that purple button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. So if you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. One more time, shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon, let's get into this because I'm eager to hear what the pot of gold myth is.
Yeah. So let me start with a story, of course.
Okay, of course.
Our first, no, it wasn't our first. First large warehouse that I leased. I had had offices before. I was a much younger man. And the owner of the building was a business owner, and he wanted to meet us. So we sat down in his conference room. This guy's name was Jim Mercer. And my partner and I sat down, and my partner asked him, as we were just kind of getting, talking, he's like, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and lease to you guys. And he says,
that's nice. That's good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. He says, Jim, let me ask you a question. So he was older. He's probably our age now. And
that's not older, Shannon. That's wiser. That's right. Yeah.
So my partner, Chris, he says, Jim, tell us, was it all worth it? Did you get your pot of gold at the end, the years that you worked? And, Jim, he stopped for a minute, and I'll never forget. He says, well, I don't think there's a pot of gold at the end, but I was able to take some chests of gold, off the table during my business career. And I think about that often because I have a tendency, and I've always had a tendency, to want to just plow every dime back into my business. But at some point along the way, of course, beyond your what you need to live, of course, you need to take some money off the table. You need to not. I don't think you should wait for the quote pot of gold, because not only is it not guaranteed to happen if things don't go the way things happen. But
you're back.
You still there?
I lost you for a second, but yeah. No, we the message stayed. You're good. Yeah.
Not only could it, things go sideways on you and you've done things, but you should enjoy your life and you should reward yourself and your family for the hard work that you're doing. So my take on it is that waiting till the end, so to speak, or this buyout or payout or
whatever that might be,
whatever it is.
And for a lot of people, I mean, going back to what we talked about in the beginning, the first part of the show, a lot of people don't know what like if you ask people, okay, you're waiting for a pot of gold, describe that specifically. What are you building towards, right? Same thing. What is that pot of gold? I think it's great that you're building towards it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Specifically, what is it and how are you getting there?
Yeah.
Right. That's where you're going. Get there as fast as you can.
And if you have an opportunity to take some of that treasure, a bit of it, to make to enhance your life or the life of your kids or the whatever. I've just seen it so often where I've worked, I got this, let's take I'm getting shares in this company and I'm plowing away and I'm doing all this kind of stuff and it's great. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it never materializes, right? Or as we've had the experience, we're selling this business. It's going to be amazing. And after a little while, all of a sudden, and you've had it happen even recently.
That's right.
It just is going to happen. So, be aware of this myth. I think that you don't always wait. You need to, your life is a series of experiences, right? It's the most important part of your life is the experiences you have. And the connections that you make with other people. And if you're putting those experiences and connections aside, thinking that, later I'm going to connect with my, the worst ones are later I'm going to connect with my kids more. Well, that's never going to happen. So you need to stop and do it now.
No, you're not.
Or later we're going to take this trip to this place, or later I'm going to have this. And of course you have to be reasonable. I'm not saying
sometimes you say we're not going to do that this year.
Of course.
That's different than just nebulously saying later, right?
And I don't think you should I'm not talking about going into debt.
Right.
To live your life a certain way. I'm talking about
that's foolish.
That's not good. Yeah. I'm talking about as you build wealth, take some money off the table.
Take some risk off the table.
And spread yourself out. Invest in other things. Not 100% back into your business. Invest in some other stuff.
You are describing me to a T. I mean, and thankfully, candidly, I've had business partners who have been better at this than I was, and they've kind of forced me to take some off the table at times. And looking back, I am so thankful that I did, because otherwise I would have just kept plowing it into the business, taken off whatever my modest salary or whatever was that I was giving myself, and leading the charmed life. Like I have, I mean, I don't succeed at all of it, but I've created a lifestyle, a business that feeds the lifestyle that I want, and a lifestyle that feeds the business that I want, right? And so I don't think about, I should take this big pile of money off the table. No, keep it in the business. Like it's doing what I want. No.
Balance.
You got to balance it, right? Don't starve the business.
No,
it also doesn't need to have all this capital that you're not using in the business. Yeah. And and I say this absolutely from personal experience, you can give yourself and have your partners agree on all of this, if you have partners, that yes, we're going to take this off the table, but we agree that some percentage of it, half of what we're taking right now, we're going to invest in things that could be easily liquidated if we need to reinvest some of this back in the business, right? Because that's where conservative me
capital call.
You say, well, we can keep it there, and then that way, if we hit lean times, we've got a war chest. I'm a big fan of the war chest, and my partners are like, love the war chest, and it has saved businesses before having this war chest, but it doesn't need to be as big as Dave thinks it needs to be.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just got to think about it. And I, on the flip side, we are eternal, I call it radical optimism, which is great. And it helps pull you through. But at some point, if a venture, a business that you're involved in is slipping, you got to watch those investments that you're putting back in the business, especially when you're personally making them. Yes. And you really have to ask yourself, and maybe, it's not maybe, you need to get some outside guidance from someone who's not a radical optimist, that, hey, what's the play here? Should we be, because in my head, I'm thinking, well, if I just, another, capital injection and we'll be fine. We'll get over it. And there's been a lot of, and no matter how many times I go through it, there's at some point where I'm like, oh, this is just the way things are. I have to keep going to keep this working. And sometimes you have to really question that. Sometimes you have to. So,
I remember
anyway,
in Private Parts, the movie that about Howard Stern.
Yeah.
He said something somewhere, and I don't know if if this has remained true throughout his career or what, but at the time he said, when I was building up things and, building up his radio show and personality and all that stuff, he said, I never invested my own money in it. And the reason was, if I couldn't convince someone else to invest their money in it, it wasn't going to be a good investment. It's like,
wow.
Right? And there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah,
so,
I get it. Yeah,
I don't. And again, I don't know if that has been universally true throughout his life, but he said it, and in whatever context he said it, it stuck with me. So anyway, that's cool. That's right.
Yeah. If love your feedback. Tell us what you think. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Let us hear your thoughts so we can talk about them.
Absolutely.
Episode.
Yeah. I'm curious. We all see things differently. We all do things differently, and that's a good thing. We want to keep your feedback as part of this show. So send it in and we'll share it. We'll see you Friday. Keep living that charmed life.